Hello, Full Heel Podcast. Welcome back for another episode 108. Thanks a lot for joining me. As usual, I got my guest here. I got Ryan. What's going on, Ryan? What'd I do to you, bro? Look, I had to call child services, all right, bro? Someone's got to think about the kids. Someone please think about the children.
I'm feeling the mood. I'm feeling the atmosphere tonight, you sumbitch. You know, I'm just I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready to open up a couple cans and break some shit down.
We're starting a little late. Usually we start a little at 6, but a little late today. I was opening cans of whoop ass on my niece. Knocked her out like 3 times, but you know.
And you're the one calling child services.
Yeah, but that's the only way you show how to get back up. All right, you got to knock them down. But no, so I was working out with my niece, tiring her out. I'm gonna make her throw up one of these days. I don't want to push her and scare her yet, but we're a little over a month into working out. I'm loving it. I'm feeling stronger. I've added stuff. I've incorporated more to our workouts. If you guys are keeping up with the podcast and my working out sessions, 2 miles now. We're doing 2 miles.
Nice.
We're looping the park twice. And as part of the 100 squats, it's 100 press as well. She has a 20-pound kettlebell. I do the 35-pound kettlebell. So it's a squat and then press. Squat and press 100 times. And then we did pads. And then I was showing her how to do 1-2s, 1-2s, 1-2s. Just jab, keep the elbow up, bring the defense back. You know, it's going to be the same old shit over and over again. That's how it is. That's MMA. Repetition. What about you, Ryan? You done chopping kids' hands off for the black market?
No, it was a monumental event. Carla's first, big kitchen injury. Chopping some cucumber up her snack, sliced her finger, big freak out. All, kids see blood, kids hurt themselves. It doesn't matter if it's a skin knee, if it's a little this or that, whatever. She freaked out. Kara ran, do her thing. I said, I got this. Took her. Let's go to the bathroom. Cleaned it up. Talked to her about it. I showed her the cut. I dabbed with the Kleenex and all that stuff. I said, look at it. It's fine. Don't worry. These things happen. It's not that bad. Look, Daddy's missing part of his thumb.
Oh, shit. Are you?
Yeah.
Let me see. Is it cool?
Yeah. I don't know if you can tell, but this one here at that angle.
Yeah.
Compared to that one.
I can kind of see it, yeah.
It was, opening out of a restaurant that I was opening. The third one I opened, and guy was cutting olives up for a burger, and I was ahead of my prep. I said, I'll take over. He goes, sure. I'm like, yeah, I got it. You go do your other stuff. I said, all the pits are gone? Yep, all the pits are gone. Chop, hit a pit. Knife buckled in my hand and took off the tip. I was cool. I was fine with it. I'm like, fuck. Looked at it. I'm like, oh shit. I see white. I'm like, I see too much.
Was it one of those where you're like, oh, I cut myself, but I'm not bleeding, and then it's
oh no,
blood.
Yeah, no, it was running down my hand instantly. Okay. Once I held it up, grabbed the towel, quick trip to the hospital. Well, 2-hour trip to the hospital. Mm-hmm. Kara picks me up, goes to take me home. My parents are with her to calm her down. I run in. I said, all right, guys, I'm on some Tylenol 4s. I can't lower my hand from here. I'm out. See you guys next week. And I walk in to go tell them this, and they're about 40 tables behind, and it's the owner and everyone else running the kitchen, and that was my baby at this point. I'd done the menu. I trained everyone. I'm like, oh, fuck. Went back outside. I said, Kara, go home. I'll see you in 3 hours. And I went back and pushed out service. So, well, but yeah, I'm kitchen through and through. It's my life. So I told Carla, don't worry, bandaged her up. Next day, she takes the bandage off and she looks at it and she goes, oh, Daddy, it's not that bad. Look at those guns. Look at those guns. Sun's out. Guns out.
Yeah, sorry, I had to turn the lights on and stretch a little bit. I wasn't flexing.
No, it's all good. No, but Carla
was excited.
yeah. Carla was super excited. She was, I'm gonna be a cook like you. I want to work. I'm like, don't ever work in kitchens. Never wish that
Yeah.
upon anyone. Like,
Hey,
I
brother, I am opening Full Heel Podcast Dungeon. So if you need to send your kids over when they hit the right age,
there you go, the dungeon.
yep, I already got my my first test subject. So
not trainee, eh?
no test
Test
subject.
subject.
This is the female version of Drago, Carl Drago.
There you go.
She's gonna destroy these females in the UFC. She's a big girl. She can be a big girl.
What's her name?
Violet. So it's not really a name; it's more of a color. So
okay, so we're gonna go. We'll have Violet.
Violet Donatello. All right, I already gave her the name. I'm Raphael,
Boom.
red. She's violet, purple. It's the same fucking color. Donatello.
So she's more like, so if you're Rocky, so we got Donnie coming out in a couple of years, followed by Donnie 2 when she beats I guess it'd be what, like Trump's grandson? No. I mean, you guys gotta represent, right? Yeah. Whip that ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No, so that training sounds awesome though, man.
Oh yeah, dude. It's kind of tiring, but I'm getting used to it more and more. That's why I've been incorporating more stuff. I'm trying to build her to do push-ups, upper body strength.
Yeah, I like the fact that you're saying that you guys are doing the kettlebell lifts.
Mm-hmm.
I like that training more. Like, it's not just work. Like, hitting bags is one thing, holding the arms up is one thing, doing push-ups or jumping jacks, whatever. Anything that works out arms a little bit's nice. Mm-hmm. But getting like a lot of that upper stuff that gets the shoulders built up, that really helps deliver more power. It helps later rounds when your arms are getting tired. The base is right there. It's holding everything up. Like, you got strength there. Like, it's crucial, man. Like,
so she's been holding pads for like a month, and this would be the second week, so a month and a half. So today, usually I call it what I'm gonna do. I'll be like, I'm gonna do a 1 this whole round. I'm gonna do a 1-2 this whole round. Usually, I give her similar to what I do because she's still learning how to hold pads. Today I let her call out the combos. I'm like, all right, now that you're getting better, you call out my combos. You give me a 1. You give me a 1-2. Cool. You give me a 1-2-2. You give me a 1-1. So she's calling them out, and I'm pop. She's like 1-2 pop pop. She's like 1-2-2 pop pop pop. And then after the last round, she's like, I didn't know you could go that fast. I'm like, oh yeah.
So all of a sudden you have her. She's like going all over the map. She's like, oh, I got this.
So the other day, well, when we're boxing, she gets kind of lazy with it. Well, she gets tired with it, and she'll drop her hands, and she starts dropping her hands, and if I'm holding the pads, I crowd her. And I put them up and I pop 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 pop. I'm like, come on, put your hands up. I'm like, they can hit you. So I crowd her. Yo, the kiddos.
Hey, number one. Right on time. What do we say, Connor?
Hi.
What's going on, Connor?
Here, right here.
Yo, Connor. What's going on?
Okay.
And
here comes number 2. Oh, and you got Mummy's coat on here. Connor, can you hear? Can you hear Raph?
Yo, what's going on, Connor?
Can you say hi? Can you wave?
When are you coming to the dungeon?
You see yourself. Are you gonna go work with Raph? You gonna go do boxing with Raph?
Come to the dungeon, Connor. Pow, pow.
Connor, show Raph your punches. You show Raph your punches? No? You too entertained?
Conor McGregor.
Are you getting shy? Okay, Connor, you want to jump down for a second? Will you show Carla? Oh, watch your head on the headphones. I'm sorry. Okay, you come this way.
How old is Carla? How old is she?
Carla, she just turned 5 in May.
One of my nieces is like 7. They could train together. They're training partners right there.
Carla likes to do. We go for walks. Carla does the 1-2 kick combo on garbage cans.
What?
Yeah.
Garbage cans. My cans. My beautiful cans.
Carla, where's your hand with your cut? Where'd you cut yourself? Where's your hand here? Oh, it's all the way on this big coat.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's Connor.
Oh,
Connor with
attacking.
the basketball net. Let's do that finger. Let's do this finger. Let's show the world your first big kitchen cut. Where's your fingers? Holy moly. There it is. Alrighty, we're going to put it right up here to the camera. There it is.
Oh, no.
First little cut.
Did
She
it bleed a lot?
rebounded. A fair amount. 2 Band-Aids worth the first night.
How many stitches? 28?
I was just gonna lop it off and cauterize it, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. That'd probably been
I'll
safest.
play. Shh.
Yeah.
No, and
Next
here we
time.
go. Okay, guys, we have 3 seconds. We're gonna say bye in a minute. Okay, there we go. Okay, watch my
Bye.
phones, watch my ear, watch the computer, watch everything. Okay, say bye, Connor. Say bye and ready. Say. Let's hear the big Austin from Connor.
What?
Big Austin from Connor.
What? I was trying to
The
do the
big
too
Austin.
sweet.
The big Austin.
I was trying to do the too sweet. What's up with that?
N-O. Big N-O.
Connor, bye, Bubby.
Okay. Bye, Daddy. Talk about that later.
Uh-oh, Ryan's in trouble. Making Connor an Austin fan.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, you keep doing that, you're gonna make him grow up to be a Conor McGregor himself. But Connor's a millionaire, so it's all good.
Yeah, I'll be retired young. That's the goal, isn't it? That's why we have kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can send them to the dungeon when they're old enough. Like I said, I have a niece that's 7. She's about to turn 7, so that's perfect. They're a year
There we
apart,
go.
year and a half apart. One can hold pads, one can hit, but no sparring. Sorry, no sparring until they hit 18. I'm the only one that gets to beat kids. All right, they can't spar each other, but I'll spar them.
What about those Russian MMA organizations?
Oh
Come
my
on,
god,
man.
dude, that's so horrible.
Those things are
Poor kids. They're not even wearing gear or anything. They're just going at it full force. Da, 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 da.
What's sad is I'm pretty sure like a solid 20% could probably take me. Maybe even 30. Maybe even 30. Like I just hold them back after a while and just like maybe like kick them if I have to.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, some of them are fast and look spry. Get in there.
Yeah, that little girl that fucks up trees is pretty crazy with it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I almost don't want to believe it.
Little girl's crazy. Yeah, but so last week we did Razor Ramon. We did my favorite wrestler, and you have a 1A and a 1B.
Yeah, I got my childhood hero growing up on wrestling was always Bret Hart. Being the Canadian kid, it was always awesome to see the Canadian guy because the main sports we watched was always hockey,
Well, fuck
baseball.
yeah, dude, that's awesome.
And so it's always Canadian. It's like what you grew up watching hockey. It's a lot of that. So when we get into wrestling, it's like there was Bret, and that was it. And like from Calgary, didn't mean anything. He's from Canada. That was it. Like you hear they say like Austin's from Texas, and this, you don't say Austin's from America. So for us, it was really amazing to have that one guy that like was representing all of us. So I always loved Bret Hart. But Austin was my guy when I fell into wrestling. It's like when I really got into following storylines and all that kind of stuff. And it was around his height that Bret was gone, and I didn't have access to a lot of WCW, so it was a lot easier to follow Stone Cold. So he was my guy, like you're Scott Hall, where like the end of it was forming, Austin was forming to me. Yep. So it was like that. Like at the height, who did you follow? And so Stone Cold was my my guy. And I go back and forth. I always love one over the other. It's hard for me to pick one over the other. It's amazing to me that I can watch so many of their matches because they had such a great heated rivalry for a few months. I guess close to a year. I think we pressed her on Survivor Series and went until like the following summer, really, with the Hart Foundation. But ultimately, when we were discussing this, I was like, "Fuck, like Raph, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know who to pick." Like, at the end of the day, it was to me like I have such an extensive Bret Hart knowledge that it would just be easier to pick a couple Steve Austin matches and just do a Stone Cold episode and do Bret next time.
Yeah. That was definitely the plan. Bret's coming up. I'm digging these. I don't mind doing pay-per-views or picking 6 different matches from a certain guy, or just doing 6. It's wrestling, baby.
Yeah,
it's wrestling. Something to wrestle with. I've been listening to that too much.
Yeah, me too. Way too much.
Yeah, no, but Austin's a great pick. I'm gonna come clean. I'm gonna say something I've never told anybody. At first, when Austin first came out, I didn't like him.
as the Austin 316 side
Yep.
like that.
Yep. Because Goldberg, which was Austin's a little bit before,
Okay.
but I was like, man, these two guys. I was young, and I'm like, these two guys are way too similar. The same gear, so dominant, but there's so much more sustenance. There's so much more character. There's so much more wrestling ability. Austin is the full package. Goldberg was the guy that they sold to you as the full package.
It's cool too because we've actually seen Goldberg in matches like, and nothing. I think Goldberg's phenomenal. I love watching. I
Forever.
think I think he's a great character. I think he's one of the greatest characters because that undefeated streak, no matter how legit or not, it sold so well, and he was that perfect rival to the NWO on both sides, but also to DDP. Like he could go against another babyface and sell like crazy, where they were afraid to do that with Stone Cold because they didn't want another babyface to look bad. But we've been able to see both these guys take on The Rock. We've seen both these guys take on Scott Hall, Triple H, and you can actually see a huge difference in abilities between what Goldberg can do and Stone Cold. Because
100%.
Stone Cold can tell a match, whereas Goldberg can get through a match.
Stone Cold is undeniable. You can hate him as much as you want, but he's undeniable. For me, Goldberg is hated because of the NWO for life. I'm never gonna. I hated him as a kid. I hated him.
I get. Oh, for sure. That's like me. That's like me with Vince for long. Like I could not stand Vince McMahon, Triple H, and Undertaker for the longest time. I was like, God damn it! But now I'm like, whatever. It's all good. Like watch those matches now. I get that childhood. Like, it was fun.
Yeah, I never had that hate for Austin. It's just they were too similar, and I was like, I hate Goldberg so much. It just carried over a little bit. But like I said, Austin is undeniable. And the matches that he goes on to have throughout his career and with the superstar he has, like I said, he's undeniable. You can't not like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not even in my opinion, he's a top seller of merchandise for a certain period of time ever. The Austin 316 shirts. I think even to this day, they're probably top sellers out of wrestling shirts.
I forget who's. It may have been Eric Bischoff, but someone's podcast they were talking about the top selling shirts today are DX, Austin 316, and the original NWO are still to this day the top 3 sellers at live events, even in Japan. Like they still like in Japan you could have like was it New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they'll sell American shirts, and they still sell like crazy because it's such an amazing time frame. Like that 96 to 01 ish range, it was such a explosion of talent, and NWO, Austin, DX, like they were the forefront of everything. Goldberg's shirt was like his tattoo with his name underneath it. Like they couldn't even put a shirt around him. Like that's his character couldn't have a shirt because he couldn't use the stick, and that's so crucial to a character's development. Like they could not put the microphone because all they would say is Hogan, you're next, and that was it.
Well, yeah, insert who's in next. I think that's what they used. Fucking, I think, was it yesterday or Monday? Yeah, no, it was Monday.
Dolph Ziggler.
You're next.
I was expecting something big. Nope. Like, oh, he's back. Okay, we get 1 week's notice and 2 words of promotion, or 4 words of promotion. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why he's back, but Raw and SmackDown have been picking up with the new writing, so it's more entertaining. I'll give them that.
They're probably trying to run something back to December to get Taker and Goldberg to do a legit match where it's not 115 degrees and Goldberg spearing himself in the ring post.
Yeah, if he can avoid a concussion, I think he'll be good.
But no, like I like the idea that we've had to do like these little single one-offs, because I don't know about you, but when I was picking my matches, I went with what could have been in Austin's career when I pick these matches. Whereas last week it was just like Scott Hall's matches that I had seen 100 times before, but I never really sat down and really focused on them, and I hadn't watched them in a while. So it's nice to go back and revisit them and see them in a different light.
Mm-hmm. Well, on something to wrestle with, they just talked about The Rock, so they touched on this match and how awesome it was. So I'm like, okay, boom, that's one of the matches that I need to go back and watch. But it was The Rock, so that's the only match I got from there, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm like, Dude Love and him had a nice little rivalry after their tag team, and I'm like, that was a good match from what I remember, and I'm like, but against Dude Love, like, but it's Mick Foley. I'm like, let's check it out, and it was a good match to pick. I don't remember watching it, so it was awesome. And then the first one I picked would be I guess we should just get we'll get into it I guess right now. I picked Jake the Snake.
And I'm pissed off. Because
Why?
so when we discussed it quickly and said, okay, well, here's my first match I'm going to pick, and definitely this match, but let me check the date on it. And then I woke up on Tuesday morning, and I'm like, oh fuck, Jake the Snake. I wanted to touch quickly on the Jake the Snake match, and so I grabbed my phone to message you, and as I picked my phone up, message from Raph. All right, Jake the Snake. I'm like, son of a bitch, I gotta find another one. Like, okay, now I gotta really rack my brain on a random match. Okay, like let's. I
was thinking you were gonna pick Austin HBK.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was gonna be one of yours.
There's a method to my madness, which I'll talk about when I get to my my selections here.
Yeah. All right. So let's start it off then. Austin starts off his career in '89. Was he playing football before this?
He played football in high school and Division II, Division III college. I don't think he played in Division I, but he always wanted to be a wrestler, and he ended up with the gentleman Chris Adams, who trained him, and then he had a little storyline with him when he turned pro back in the late '80s, which led to him, and I'm kicking myself, I'm drawing a blank on gentleman Chris Adams' wife, who was the valet, who ended up with Austin before he jumped to WCW, but he had a little rivalry there with him down in Texas, which really kickstarted his career, and I think he won Rookie of the Year back in '89 or '90.
WCCW.
Yeah.
World Class Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yep, in Dallas.
Yeah. So, So that was he got to start off there. Eventually ended up in Atlanta with Ted Turner.
In WCW.
And I don't know if he was a singles competitor right off the bat before he joined the Hollywood Blondes, but the Hollywood Blondes was his real big push. And it's funny, if you ever listen to Stone Cold, he'll always tell you that he hated being a member of the Hollywood Blondes. He didn't like being a tag team. He liked being a singles wrestler. And everything was going smooth, going great. They get the titles, their heels, all this stuff. And next thing they say is, all right, we're breaking you up. He's like, we're a fucking tag team. Like, no, you can't break us up. All of a sudden, he didn't want to break. And ended up being the best thing for his career in some ways, because he ends up getting the U.S. Championship. Has some great matches with Brian Pillman when the Hollywood Blondes split up. Has some phenomenal matches with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. The Great Muta for the U.S. Championship in one was one of his standout matches. And he was supposed to go over on Ric Flair, and I don't know if it was for the title or not, but he's talked about it on his podcast in the past, where him and Ric Flair were supposed to have an angle, and he was supposed to go over, but something, I don't know if he got injured, or if it was around the time that Flair was about to split and things just fell through and they wanted to put the title on someone bigger, so that they tried to scrap that storyline and go with Flair and else. But end up getting hurt, goes to ECW, because he was, and one of the most famous stories in wrestling history is that Austin got his year fired from Eric Bischoff from Federal Express. Opens up the package, much like CM Punk on his wedding day, says, we're sorry to say that you're fired. goes to ECW, but he's injured, and that was the reason for his release. So the injury meant he couldn't perform. So all he did was cut promos, and he has some fucking amazing ECW promos. In one of them, he dresses up as Eric Bischoff, sitting behind a desk. Just he's dressed up as Hogan, just rips WCW apart. Jeff would know better than this. I believe he only had one ECW match. It was for, I think, the ECW Heavyweight Championship. He loses to Mikey Whipwreck. I'm not 100% sure about that. I know he loses to Whipwreck, but I don't know if it's his only match. He might have had a couple other matches on TV or on pay-per-view. Regardless, he ends up jumping to WWF. Becomes the ringmaster. His blonde hair is now he's going bald, so he has to shave his head to a buzz cut. He's known as the ringmaster. Terrible gimmick, but he gets the $1 million championship and is managed by $1 million man. He uses the $1 million dream as his finisher. Everything is going good for him there, except for the character itself. This doesn't have any growth. Has some good matches. One of them being WrestleMania 12 against Savio Vega, which he wins with the help of $1 Million Man's interference. I'm gonna draw.
On a side note, they kind of just stopped pushing Savio Vega. It seemed like they were pushing him for a little bit. I think they even put the Intercontinental title on him for a little bit, but
I think the biggest thing that he got was Los Boricuas in the Nation, but it didn't grow. It was just like here, we're going to insert you here. We're going to insert you here. We're not going to...
I think he was originally in the Nation, and then they dropped out and made Los Boricuas, and that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
That kind of derailed.
And that was basically the end, because a lot of those guys, all of those guys, went nowhere. The DOA and Los Boricuas ended up pretty much out of the company. The Nation ended up was the only one that grew.
Mm-hmm.
But Austin eventually loses a Caribbean strap match to Savio Vega. If you can find the highlights of this match, it's amazing. At the end of it is the stipulation: $1 Million Man wanted out at WWF because of his drug addiction. He wanted to fix his marriage. He wanted to get on track. So he said he wants out. This is his leaving WWF. If Austin loses this match, $1 Million Man is fired. Savio Vega wins the strap match, and he does the na 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 na. Hey.
From what I've heard, Mr. McMahon loves that song.
Oh, he wants to use it at anytime he can use it, he does.
Yeah.
But he got Savio Vega got the whole crowd going. $1 Million Man walks off, gone, and thus is born, a new character. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Steve Williams is sitting at home. He's known to the world of Stone Cold, or as so many names, known to the world of Steve Austin, but he needs a new moniker. And his wife of English descent used a common phrase to him one day, saying, "Eat your soup or eat your oatmeal, eat whatever the meal is before it gets stone cold." It's like, God damn. Stone Cold, boom, goes to Vince and says, "Here's my idea, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Let me be a badass." And they ran with it for a few weeks. It kind of caught on. Triple H is going to win King of the Ring, but instead he decided to have the curtain call with Nash, Ramon, and HBK. Vince scraps King of the Ring, and they tell Austin, "This is your push. Do what you got to do." And beats Mero on in his first fight in the pay-per-view. During the match, he splits his lip, has to get a bunch of stitches in there, just to kind of add to the toughness of his character. Fits in so well to things. Sometimes they fall in place with the career. And yeah, he splits his lip, gets the stitches, sits down, comes. Doc Hendricks says, "Listen, Jake the Snake's out there talking religious verses on you." I was, "Oh, okay." And side note, Jake the Snake actually invented the Stone Cold Stunners, and he was the one that told Vince to put him over going forward. So Jake the Snake was actually very crucial to Austin's career. So it was a kind of a cool thing that we get your first match here, Austin versus Jake the Snake Roberts.
What? Yeah. So this would have never happened if the Click wouldn't have hugged in the middle of the ring, and Hall and Nash wouldn't have left. What would have happened to Austin? It's interesting to think because
I don't know where, because I think the safe thing to say is that Hall and Nash were gone because Vince was not going to give them that money.
yeah,
The big question mark is Triple H, because
he
do
was
they?
supposed to win.
He was supposed to win, and does he get that angle with Shawn Michaels? Because they're boys. Like, do they want to go at it, or do they want to be friends? Like, does Shawn want to put him over? Does Shawn want to put him over and keep his title? And Austin, like, it's. I always look at Stone Cold as the UFC. I think he would have caught on, but had the UFC has Ultimate Fighter one Bonner Griffin blew the shit out of that organization. King of the Ring '96 blew the shit out of Stone Cold. I think that Austin would have caught on a slow burn that would have eventually blown up. Maybe in another, instead of in the quickness, maybe another 6 to 8 months. But I think that he would have caught on. I just don't know what they would have done with Triple H in that role, because Triple H didn't really, that blue blood character didn't fit Triple H as a DX member fit. Like,
Yeah. That blue blood character was not going to take him anywhere.
no.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about that right now when I took a hit. I'm like, damn. I'm like, what if the Click would have stayed and these guys in Austin would have to deal with that? Because I'm like, there would have been DX anti-establishment, NWO anti-establishment. Well, seeing as if they would have been, formed in WWF if they would have all stayed, and then Austin anti-establishment as well. Everyone would have been anti-establishment.
It would have been cool. I think they might. I think the way things were going into the 90s, WCW would have floundered and would have been gone by 97. And I think Vince would have found a way to form the Click being a group on TV. I think he would have had Diesel, Ramon, Hunter, and Shawn be a Click on TV, and instead of having the corporation, it would have been them. I think in some way, shape, or form, they would have figured something out with the four of them on TV. But Vince, ultimately, was like those two guys leaving shaped. So, like, you can hate the Click and you can hate so much of what they did backstage, but we were given from 1996 until really even today, some of those matches that we see today, like AJ Styles was influenced by those guys. Like, without the Click, you don't get a lot of talent, a lot of growth, a lot of storylines, a lot of amazing matches, and you don't get a lot of influence going forward to guys. So it really did benefit in a weird way. Everything happening the way it did, the dominoes just fell.
Yeah. So because of the Click hugging in the ring, for those people that have never seen it, don't know the history. Razor Ramon, Diesel leave to go to WCW. Vince McMahon says, all right, you guys can say a goodbye. It was at a house show. Someone taped it and released it. They don't reprimand Shawn Michaels, and they decide to reprimand Triple H, like we just said. And this is what tosses Jake the Snake Roberts versus Austin at the King of the Ring Final '96. Most iconic quote for Austin at the end, but it would probably be one of the most iconic moments for Austin, because the match, it's a good match. It's a short match. It tells a story really well, but no, there are no buts about it, because Austin is making chicken salad with chicken shit, like he always says. And that's not any diss towards Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake is an older man. He's beat up. He can still go somewhat, but he's not the same as before, and Austin has to work with that. So we have to do minimal bumps. We can't go high intensity. We can't work a crazy full match. We have to play at Jake's pace, but we have to put Austin over. So there's going to be that aspect of it.
And it's funny to piggyback off of that. When you think about people saying, like, the two most important moments in wrestling. They don't talk about Hogan slamming Andre. They don't talk about Macho Man beating DiBiase. They talk about Hogan turning heel, and they talk about Austin 316 says, "I just whipped your ass." Those people say those are the top two moments, and they happened like Austin turned in June, and Hogan turned like a week and a half later. Like they were.
I didn't even think about that. How close, how far apart they happened from each other.
Or yeah, because Austin was 96, King of the Ring. Yeah, so like Austin was June 96 and Hogan was July 96, I think.
Yeah.
Like they were like
it was Bash at the Beach, 97.
They were one.
96,
They were 1 and 2. Like Austin turned, Hogan turned. The only difference is that Hogan was a much bigger name and Austin wasn't champion, or it was just a King of the Ring. It was just a superstar making a statement. Mabel did it the year before. Owen Hart did it. Bret Hart did it. It was just King of the Ring. It didn't mean anything really. You got a title shot.
This was the what is it? The catalyst or this was the lighting the ignition for Austin's career. He had been building a base, becoming a badass wrestler, learning from Chris Adams, wrestling around the organizations, not really getting the respect he deserved, fighting in a tag or wrestling in a tag team. He's put all that together, and then he cuts one of the most ridiculous promos after, like I said, not a long match. It's like 7 minutes.
And it was really all because Doc Hendricks said, "Hey, look, Jake's been talking some promos about you religiously." God damn! All right. And he went out there, and he's like, John 316. You see those signs at NFL, MLB, hockey. Sorry, you see them at every sporting event. John 316. John 316.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fuck, man, Austin 316.
Yeah. So Austin had apparently 16 stitches from a previous match earlier that night because of this King of the Ring tournament for Mark Marrow. So he's back fighting in the last match. Austin right away attacks.
Also, just sort of to intercut, a lot of the matches that we talk about, if you want like real stories behind a lot of these matches, do check out Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, because he has a few Austin episodes that are really in depth. Some pay-per-views, some his career, some of his moments. Like, do check it out because it is really interesting to get the behind-the-scenes stuff as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Austin right away gets the momentum on his side, beating up Jake while he's down, slapping him around, really playing the heel, and not letting Jake mount any momentum whatsoever. He beats him up so bad that Gorilla Monsoon has to come in and check on Jake, pretty much resetting the match.
Jake's like saying like, no, I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Like the old school style.
It's making it believe. It's selling the match. He gave him a breather, and they even mentioned it in the commentary. But it's the reset of the match. We saw Austin beating him up.
And just part of the reason for like the attack. They show. I mean, if you just watch this one match, not the whole pay-per-view, Vader in a previous match injured Jake's rib, so he's all bandaged up. And at one point, Austin's like ripping off the bandages and going after the ribs and the hurt midsection.
Yeah, that's when Monsoon comes in.
Yeah,
Austin is deliberately going after the previous injury, gimmicked up from the previous match. I forgot who he beat. And we also have awesome commentary by Owen Hart, if you guys want to hear some commentary from him.
Yeah, hearing Owen on the mic was really nice.
Yeah. Get that huge ape out of there when Monsoon was in there.
Yeah.
Or that smelly ape or something. I don't know. It was...
God, I love Owen. It's so great to hear Owen doing commentary. He would have been a great commentator going forward.
Yeah.
If he couldn't make it as a wrestler, like if he had like a knee injury and was forced to just do commentary his career, god damn, that would have been great.
Mm-hmm. But it sucks.
R.I.P. brother.
Yeah. Oh, R.I.P. to Harley Race. We haven't mentioned that.
Oh, fuck yes,
that happened last week. Rest in peace, Harley Race.
Speaking of the King of the Ring, the original, one true, the king, the guy, the man who defined King of the Ring.
King Harley Race. Yeah, R.I.P. That guy was so tough. I heard stories of him backing down Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Hogan,
Yeah.
I'm the Giant.
He would just, he was like, yeah, he's one of those guys you kind of wish you could just jump into a time machine, flash back to a different era, and just like witness what he was doing. Because you can go back, you can watch film, and you can watch the DVD matches and that, but it's different when you see it live in person. Like he had this thing about him, and all the guys talk about it. Like when Harley stepped in a room, everyone just shut their mouth, and they all just looked at him and like nodded and what's going on, guys?
He was a real wrestler, man. People feared him. He was a tough motherfucker.
Yep.
He could shoot with the best of them, from what I heard. These are just stories, but these are stories from some of the best that say, like I said, he backed down Andre the Giant, and Andre the Giant is known to back down everybody. Like, you did not fuck with Andre.
Yeah, it's one thing, like, if Hogan or Flair say this about themselves or that about themselves, it's one thing. It's when your compatriots say things about you that make you realize, like, oh, fuck, that guy was hard as nails.
Yeah. Like I said, R.I.P. Where were we?
Finish the match, pretty much.
Yeah,
just
so
Ramon in the ring and Austin taking over.
Yeah, he resets it, but a little bit after that. Oh no, so Jake the Snake teases the DDT after a little bit of offense. Really doesn't get it though.
No.
Then Austin gets the stunner and gets the win.
And still in the early works, like I don't know if I'm forgetting if it was this one or the Mark Marrow match, but all he does is he stands him up and then just turns his body and just drops. I think it was the Mark Marrow match, but I could be wrong. But the stunner didn't quite have that effect of just the guy turns around, gets the kick to the gut, and then the ass drop. But it's hits the stunner and 1, 2, 3, go and cut that promo.
Yeah, so Austin goes on to cut one of the best promos, not even for himself, but of all time in wrestling history.
Get trash out of my ring.
Yeah.
I'm serving notice to all the WWF superstars backstage. Oh man.
The first thing I want to be done is for that piece of crap out of my ring.
Yeah, I think that's another talk. You sit there, you talk about your Psalms, talk about your John
right here.
Yeah, read it. Yeah, go for it. Do it.
Don't just go get him out of my ring. Get him out of the WWF. Because if I've proved, son, without a shadow of a doubt, you ain't got what it takes anymore. You sit there when you thump your Bible and you say your prayers, and it didn't get you anywhere. Talk about your Psalms and you're about John 3:16, Austin 3:16 says, I just whooped your ass. And then
boom, like that was it. Doc Hendricks. Well, I don't think there's any need for that language. Yeah.
All he's got to do is buy him a cheap bottle of Thunderbird and try to dig back some of the courage he had in his prime. As the king of the ring, I'm serving notice to every one of the WWE superstars. I don't give a damn what they are. They're all on the list, on Stone Cold's list. I'm fixing to start running through all of them. As far as this championship match is considered, son, I don't give a damn if it's Davey Boy Smith or Shawn Michaels. Steve Austin's time has come, and when I get that shot, you're looking at the next WWF champion. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
I defy anyone. CM Punk's pipe bomb. The NWO never had the announcement on the stick. No one has cut a better promo. Ric Flair has had some promos, but he was over.
Oh, you meant Austin.
I'm
gonna work on my promos. I brought that up, but sorry for botching Austin's promo.
Yeah.
One of the best promos of all time.
I don't know. Like Ric Flair's promos were good, but he was over.
Mm-hmm.
NWO had 0 promos. DX's promo was very, well, what are you? You're a degenerate? Well, I'm a degenerate. I guess we're a degeneration. Like, it wasn't anything big. This, for a promo, to put a guy on the map, this is number one. I've never witnessed anything in like live on TV, pay-per-view. I've never gone back. I've never been able to, like, there's nothing. This is the greatest promo to put a guy on the map ever in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better.
Because it's just him. Hogan was him in the NWO.
Yeah. CM Punk's pipe bomb. CM Punk was already over.
Yeah.
DX. Shawn Michaels was already over. Ric Flair. Austin was a middle card guy that they were trying to put over, and he goes, all right, fine. Let me do what I did in ECW. Vince gave him. He said, you have to let me swear. You have to let me say some words that PG-13. And says, oh, fine, do it.
History's repeating itself right now. They're trying to make Kevin Owens into Austin.
Yep. And it's weird that they have Bischoff and Heyman running the show and it's happening. It's almost like Vince has no idea what he's doing in the business.
What? Don't say that, Ryan. We're going to get shut down.
Yeah.
He's going to pull the plug on the show.
Yeah. No, but yeah, monumental event, monumental promo. The promo should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, just by itself.
Like, and it kickstarted the Attitude Era. A lot of people say a lot of people will kind of tilt more towards the end of '97, but I'll tell you right here, it's summer '96 that the stick of dynamite was lit.
Yeah. Anything else on this match, Ryan? Before we move on.
Honestly, I just kind of found it fitting that the two guys, in Jake the Snake and I want to say Doc Hendricks, Michael Hayes, the guys that kind of helped the character of Austin aware of a finisher, made Vince aware of the character, and made Austin aware of what Jake the Snake was doing promo-wise. The fact that the three of them were all together at the very end to start this big ignition, this big push. Very, very, I don't want to say poetic justice, but it kind of, it fits the model.
Yeah. I don't know how far ahead we jump, so Austin becomes tag champions with HBK. I don't know how far that is after this.
So after this, Shawn Michaels is champion right now. Shawn Michaels has just defeated Bret Hart at WrestleMania leading into this pay-per-view. So this Survivor Series coming up is Austin Bret, the very first matchup. Austin talks a lot of trash. You put the letter S in front of Hitman and you get my idea of what I think of Bret Hart.
Wait. SHIT. That's shit.
Man.
What? Dude.
And Madison Square Gardens. Bret Austin won. Great matchup, back and forth action. Austin finally gets to get in there with a big talent. Now he's one King of the Ring. He's getting his push. He goes for the $1 Million Dream. Bret climbs the ropes. Another classic Bret finish that we talked about in the past with Davey Boy at SummerSlam, Owen at WrestleMania 10. Bret climbs it, falls onto his chest, pins Austin 1, 2, 3, reversing the $1 Million Dream, gets the win. They move on. And that leads into the big one, the Royal Rumble, where Austin, one of the most iconic images, Austin's kicking ass, whipping people out, sits on the top turnbuckle looking at his watch. When's the next guy coming? The guitar hits, out comes Bret Hart. They throw down the middle of the ring. Eventually, the last 5 superstars are Austin, Bret Hart, Vader, Undertaker, and I'm drawing a blank on number 5. The 5th guy gets eliminated. Austin runs over, takes out Vader, Undertaker, turns around. I want to say it was Diesel, but I know that's not right. But anyway, Austin eliminates Bret Hart, wins the Royal Rumble. And
1 of 3, right?
One of 3. Yep.
I think he's the only person who won 3.
Only person. Yep. And at that starts the thing where Austin wins Royal Rumble, but Bret Hart's going to go to WrestleMania to fight Shawn Michaels in a rematch. WrestleMania 13. Shawn loses his smile.
So, is this before they started doing the whole if you win the Royal Rumble?
No. So the first Royal Rumble winner was Yokozuna for WrestleMania 9.
Okay.
And I don't know what happened exactly. I don't know if they took a break. I don't know if it was just like a one-off for Yokozuna, and then they brought it back later on. But Austin wins the Royal Rumble, but Bret Hart was supposed to fight Shawn Michaels at some point. Literally Raw Thursday in February. So it's 3.5 days before the pay-per-view. Shawn doesn't want to fight Bret Hart. It was a fatal 4-way. The winner of Austin, Bret, Undertaker, Vader gets to go and fight Shawn Michaels for the title of WrestleMania. Shawn loses his smile. The match becomes the title match.
Yeah, you're right.
Bret ends up winning the match on the Monday before WrestleMania 13. It's announced. I'm skipping a lot. Sorry. Leading up between Bret winning the title at Final Four and In Your House and WrestleMania 13, it's announced as Undertaker and Psycho Sid, Bret Hart and Stone Cold, and the Monday Night Raw cage match. Undertaker slams the door on Bret Hart's head. Austin interfered, trying to knock Sid into the cage just to keep both Taker and Austin want the title shot. And so Psycho Sid ultimately wins the title. Bret and Austin, now it's just a match. And it's announced backstage between the guys it's going to be a submission match. But Stone Cold's like, I have fucking no submission holds. What am I going to do? And it's one of the greatest stories ever told. Stone Cold's had on his podcast a few times that it's going to be a pass out. We're going to draw blood. You're going to bleed. You're going to do the job.
No one makes me bleed my own blood.
You're going to pass out in the ring, Nelson Muntz. And Vince apparently didn't. Vince thought it was when Austin. If you watch where Austin, Austin had never bladed, so he said this to Bret: "I've never bladed before. You need to do it for me because I don't want to look like an asshole." So they do this amazing scene where he throws him into the guardrail, punches him. Austin turns up, he's bleeding. Vince legitimately thinks that Austin smashed his head off the guardrail and drew blood. Vince didn't know until afterwards. And Ken Shamrock, this is his big debut. He was on TV, but this is his big pay-per-view debut as a special guest referee. Classic match. We've talked about it before. You can go back and listen to us talk about it. Austin gets the win, Bret gets the win when Austin passes out, doing the most infamous now double turns. Now Austin has the greatest promo, has been part of the greatest double turn, and he feuds with Bret for another month before winning the tag titles with Shawn Michaels, which leads us into the King of the Ring, 1997, which my first match. And as I said before, I picked my matches on like a what could have been basis. To me, you take this match. Raph's dying. Your lungs over in the corner.
Breathe. Breathe.
Yeah. You watch this match, this Austin and Shawn Michaels match, and you realize two things. If in 2 months' time, Austin doesn't get a broken neck, and if in 6 months' time, Shawn doesn't fuck up his back, at WrestleMania 14, with Steve's white hot fire, and with Shawn's DX attitude push, this match with that attitude, with Mike Tyson at ringside, has potential to be one of the greatest matchups in WrestleMania history. but we didn't get that WrestleMania moment because of a couple of injuries. But we were gifted in being able to see Sean and Steve perform at the King of the Ring, to see what we could have potentially had.
Yeah, sorry, I got a little distracted.
It's all good.
I thought you were picking matches off of like who's controlling the match or something. Maybe I was just high.
No, yeah,
Because
I
you picked some interesting matches. This HBK match.
like just honestly, like I said, like watch this match thinking DX versus Austin 8 months later. Think about that. Think about no broken neck, no broken back. Think about the era of Attitude after the screw job. What these guys could have put on at WrestleMania would have been fucking lights out. But and Steve and Sean both said that they were both in really terrible places, and they both appreciate the match because it was WrestleMania, but they both look down on it because they both underperformed because they couldn't give it what they wanted to.
Yeah, no, this one was a lot better, but I thought HBK took a lot of the pacing of the match. I thought he was the one in charge of the match.
Well, he was helping out the Special Olympian.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I didn't know. So I sped ahead at first, and I didn't hear about when I first watched it, and then I saw that there was a commotion.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa. Did this Downs kid just fucking jump the rail or something? What's going on here?
I don't even know what happened. They're both in the ring, and then Sean jumps out, and Vince is like, "Oh, we have an intruder," and what? And then they kind of announce everything. And,
Yeah. Hey, if it wasn't real, that Downs kid is a good actor. I believe that he jumped the rail. And he was in HBK's. He was mad because HBK was. Oh, well, he got dropped right away. So Austin dropped HBK first.
There was no cameras, so the mom was like just like kind of tossed him over the guardrail. Oh my God, my baby!
Yeah,
But-
and then the mom later on comes through.
Yeah.
She appears.
As they're not dragging, as they're like walking him backstage, she starts running up the entrance, and you're like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah, and he falls twice or something, and he's like throwing stuff or like dodging stuff.
Yeah,
really
it was
weird.
Yeah, it was a weird little thing, and that's why Sean was there trying to like tell everyone like, hey, don't worry. Like Sean was actually, he's been like a legit good guy. He's like, guys, it's all good. He's like hugging the kid, saying, don't worry. He's like breaking through security, saying, guys, it's fine. Like,
yeah, he just thinks this is all real. Come on.
Yeah, he's the Special Olympian. It's all good.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's funny. He had Down syndrome, whatever. I wonder if he was actually Special Olympian, if like Vincent.
Are you saying that's a farce?
I wonder if Vincent and JR were just trying to like make it seem like whatever. They're just like,
WWE
oh God, it's he didn't jump the barrier. He fell over because he's an Olympian. He's a Special Olympian. I could see Vince like trying to like make a show of it, like because we here at the WWF appreciate all people until you're black, and then we have to wait till Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, dude, I guess they finally want to get rid of that stigma. They're like, you know what? Let's just put it on him, and we'll shut everyone up for a while.
22 years later, you know what?
He had a nice moment in Ghana, though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but this is like I said, this is an interesting match. I thought HBK was the one setting the match and calling the spots. We have HBK using his speed to lock in headlocks, hold down Austin, and not really let Austin get off any offense. It's weird because later on, from what I remember, Austin, he's the one setting the pace. He's a lot faster. It's a lot faster pace, but this match starts off slow, and it gradually builds. I know it's a longer match, but we'll get to one of his other matches where it's fucking full throttle the whole time. It's just...
Just 0 to 60 and just hold that foot down to the middle.
Yeah, no, this one definitely was thought through beforehand and paced out, and trying to sell it. Hey, dude, you're a lot bigger than me. Let me use my speed and my athleticism to get over on you, get headlocks and stuff like that. Let me see. Austin exposes the mat or the floor outside at one point. HBK was pretty hard. But that HBK had a lot of offense like for at least half of the match, it was HBK beating
But
up on Austin.
and it's funny, like when you watch this match, and you watch a match we're going to talk about later with The Rock. Austin was a good guy in your match, and he was a bad guy in my match. But he's doing the exact same style tactics.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's always the same.
In yours, he uses a bell outside. In mine, he when Sean's hugging the kid with Down syndrome, Austin breaks through and starts beating up Sean, rips up the mat, and starts going to work. Like it doesn't matter if he's face or heel. Like he still does the cheating to get the advantage kind of thing.
Yeah, that's definitely what he was doing. Like I mentioned on the when they were outside, that's when Austin takes over, slams HBK on the bare asphalt. He uses brawler tactics on the outside, as opposed to what I was mentioning earlier, HBK using the more technical and speedy on the inside.
And you look at it like a match also that was a solid like 14, 15 minutes longer than the WrestleMania match. And they didn't seem much longer because of how they flowed. That they had good back and forth. They had good pacing. They told a great story inside the ring, outside the ring, back inside. Turnbuckle. No, not exposed. That was a different match. The floor being exposed. Just underhandedness. From both guys, just doing what it takes to get ahead. You saw so much back and forth action. And they told such a great story. Sean, these guys are the tag team champions, which they kept on talking about. They know each other they know each other so well because they're tag team champions.
But even though it's shocking, they were formed as a tag team and won them.
It's like, bitch, you put them together to fight the champions that night, and 3 days later they're fighting for the title. What do you mean they know each other inside and out? Come on.
They're trying to sell it, but
this is like your first date and you're in hour 4. Like it's like you don't know the person. Like, come on, Vince. We're not idiots. But no, and you saw like so much potential. Like that rivalry could have been so good with both those guys on the stick. Sean in the right state of mind.
I don't think Sean ever wanted to really pass the torch to anybody.
No, I feel like the only reason why he passed the torch was because of the injury. That's why everyone always says, like, why he didn't want to lose the WrestleMania. He lost his smile, and he couldn't drop the title to Brett at WrestleMania. Yeah. It's like I've heard that Brett was more upset about Sean not wanting to do the payback than to do than what happened in Montreal. Like he was more hurt from the professionalism of Sean than the dirtiness of Vince.
So HBK starts to form a little bit of offense late. Austin goes for the stunner, hits the stunner. Does HBK kick out of the stunner? I forgot what happened exactly.
Is this near the finish?
This is near the finish.
Okay, so the referee's out at this point? Sorry?
Yeah, why was he out?
Okay, I've lost my notes. I'm like I don't know if I said it earlier in the podcast. I've been taking notes lately to try and drag my memory because I'm forgetting so much lately when I watch all of these matches in close proximity. But the referee's out. Austin hits the stunner. He counts the 3. The referee comes in, counts 1, 2. Austin no.
So
Austin picks up the out cold referee and hits the stunner on the out cold referee.
Yeah, and then
turns around, gets sweet chin music.
A second referee comes out.
HBK counts 1, 2, 3. Second referee gets the.
He comes out and he's trying to wake up the stunned ref, and HBK sweet chin music's him.
That's it. Yeah, sorry. And then that's when Hebner comes down and says. He does that terrible, he does that kick. You kicked him. You're disqualified. And
double DQ.
But the best part is that they walk out together, both of them holding the tag team title. So they're still the tag team walking out together, which is pretty funny. That they just went to war. They just had this badass match. And instead of fighting up there, they're just walking together up the entranceway to get to go backstage. I love how that went.
Yeah, they leave separate entrances, right? They're like,
yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome match. Awesome choice. And it awesome story. Even with the it was a, both got DQ'd. Okay, guess what? They're tag team champions. They're a team. This was the perfect finish for the match. No one beat anybody. They both leave strong.
Exactly.
They're gonna
Yeah.
have to defend those titles. So let's keep it going. And they put on a hell of a match. So, awesome match, Ryan. I don't remember watching this match.
Yeah. Oh, the only reason I actually know anything about this match, because this was a new one to me, was actually WWE's 2K16. There was the Stone Cold storyline, or not story mode, whatever they had that thing where you can do a guy's career, and it was Stone Cold as that one, and that happened to be one of the matches. So I went out a few years back after playing the game, and I discovered the match, and I was like, oh fuck, like that! I did not know these guys had a match before WrestleMania. That's pretty fucking
Yeah, what was this,
badass.
King of the
But
Ring in '97?
yes, this is a year after he was proclaimed King of the Ring. He finally gets his shot at the title.
Very nice. Let's see. Anything else on this match, Ryan? Before we move on.
Just go and watch it. If
Yeah.
you want to know honestly what could have been at WrestleMania 14, go watch this match. There was honestly, I love WrestleMania 14. I love that match. It's one of my favorite WrestleMania matches. But to know what could have been, again, this is what, like I've said it ad nauseum already. I picked what could have been matches. This could have been your WrestleMania match, WrestleMania 14 main event with more attitude and Mike Tyson. Like imagine that WrestleMania match with two guys that were healthier. God damn, to quote Rafa.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I was trying to upload something. Yeah, no. Yeah, I thought you picked them for different reasons. I didn't know it was what could have been. Like I said, I just picked mine off of cool dude love. I wanted to watch. No, just cool matches
Yeah.
I want to check out. So the next match we're gonna move on to is Austin versus Dude Love. I don't know how much time is in between these two, Austin HBK and Dude Love Austin.
You got another 2 minutes? I can run it really fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so the following month was a match that I really want to talk about with you. You broke it down, I know, in your house, Canadian Stampede. I think you broke it down 2 years ago, a while back. I vaguely remember you talking about it. So that was the next one. So that was Austin, Goldust, Ken Shamrock, and LOD taking on the Hart Foundation in Calgary. One of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. Austin gets pinned by Owen Hart. We're actually in the match. Owen gets hurt. Austin gets hurt. Kayfabe. They both leave. They both come back. Owen is a schoolboy on Austin. And here's the catch. SummerSlam payback. Austin 0-2. SummerSlam 1997 was a lot of Hart Foundation versus American wrestlers. Everyone knows the Austin versus Shawn, Brett versus Undertaker, Shawn as referee, Austin versus Owen, Davey Boy Smith fought Ken Shamrock, Brian Pillman fought Goldust, all stipulation matches. The biggest part of the whole pay-per-view was Austin got a broken neck. And changed the whole outcome of his career. He could no longer be the aerial guy. He could no longer do the big moves. He had to become more of a brawler. He couldn't do the heavy stuff that kind of got him to where he was in a sense. He wasn't known as a brawler just yet. If you watch his career up to this point, he wins the Intercontinental title that night. Has to get help to walk out the ring. And that neck injury pretty much defined the rest of his career. In this time frame, he comes out and guy with a neck injury, what's the best thing you can do?
Mm-hmm.
fucking drop to your ass every Monday night. Stuns Sergeant Slaughter, stuns Jim Ross, stuns Patterson and Briscoe, and culminates it all Madison Square Gardens with the worst stunner of all time on Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon looks like a fish out of water. Intercontinental title tournament. Owen Hart beats Farouk when Austin hits Farouk with the title. Following month at Survivor Series with the Montreal Screwjob, Austin gets his big comeback, fights Owen for the title, wins the title back. Degeneration X, he beats. In between Survivor Series and Inner SDX, The Rock becomes part of the nation, blows things up. They go back and forth, steals the title. Austin drives down in DX and the big pickup, fights up the whole nation, wins back his title, rolls into Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble. Mike Tyson's in attendance. Next night, he confronts Mike Tyson. And ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves one of the greatest Monday nights ever when Austin and Mike Tyson go face to face. And Austin flips off Mike Tyson, and $10,000 in cold hard cash in Mike Tyson's pockets go flying all throughout the ring as Austin and Mike Tyson go at it.
See, I've known all of this. It's just awesome getting it into timeline. It's just inserting it where it goes.
Aren't you happy you have a nerd?
I need to go back and watch the Raws. Just watch the Raws, because all this that you're talking about, I've seen. It's just the whole neck thing. I remember him breaking his neck. I remember it being Owen. It just, where did it fall? And it fell in between his championship runs of the Intercontinental and the Heavyweight Championship.
And it's so wild to think that he finished that match.
Yeah, with the all fucked up.
You go Austin's podcast, he had Booker T on this week. And I don't know the exact segment, but you should just fucking listen to it because it's a great discussion. And Austin and Booker are talking about guys putting guys over and guys tearing guys apart and guys in other sports tearing guys apart. And I guess, I don't know the tweet, but a UFC fighter ripped Bill Goldberg apart for his Saudi Arabia match against Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
And Austin but Austin talks about the fact that it was an okay match up until he hit the post. That's where shit went bad. And Austin points out the fact that he probably should have waved the white flag when he was dropped on his neck. But he kept going. Mm-hmm. I've seen that thing so many times. To see that much skull between ass and canvas. Side note, I don't know if you're aware, a lot of that injury, Austin was expecting a tombstone, and he thought that Owen was playing. He's like, no, I'm going to drop this way. Austin says, no, forward. He says, no, I'm going to sit. And Austin's like, oh, okay, well, it's Owen Hart. He was friends. They're fucking with me. And that's why Austin wasn't prepared. Austin was preparing himself for a tombstone. And Owen Hart was concerned and said some things backstage, but never did the hospital visit, never did the hospital call, never sent shit to him.
I heard it really fuck with him.
And Austin didn't go to Owen's funeral because he was so bummed out. And he said, well, I was able to work with him, but I couldn't look at him the same way. He lost some respect for Owen as a professional, which sucks because it was an accident in the ring, and Owen didn't want to take responsibility because he thought Austin should have been more prepared. But at the same time, it's like, you did fucking hurt him regardless if you meant to or not. Like, just send him a case of steaks, or send him a case of beer to take care of some shit for him. But who would have thought that neck injury would have spurned on he had to turn to the brawler that we ended up getting to know. Just like I said earlier, though, it's so funny that he broke his neck. What should we do? Well, have him stun everybody. Have him drop on his ass. Like,
Hey, dude, that works. It still sells. Look at Kevin Owens. He's fucking using it now.
yeah, but Kevin Owens didn't have a broken neck 3 months prior. Like,
Yeah.
he probably should have waited to do like 6 months for the stunner, not 6 weeks.
Yeah. The back's nothing to fuck with.
But regardless, he gets Mike Tyson on Raw 6 months later, and he's going to WrestleMania to fight Shawn Michaels, who just retained his title at Royal Rumble. So things are looking great at this point. Really, he's back. Doctors said he wouldn't walk again, that he wouldn't fight again, all these things, but he defied all odds.
And after this, he goes on to face Dude Love. Yeah.
Yeah. So he wins the title at WrestleMania, beating Shawn Michaels, and then the first match against Dude Love, I remember Austin going to hit Dude Love with the chair, quote unquote, but he was aiming for Vince McMahon on the outside, and I don't remember how the match ends.
Mm-hmm.
But the match that you picked is the match that I was actually more familiar with. So I'm kind of bummed you picked this one because I want to go back and watch the one that I didn't know.
Yeah,
but
Dude
like
Love is #1 contender for Austin's belt. And Dude, like you mentioned, Dude Love hasn't really been in the company that long. Well, he's been Mankind Mick Foley. It's a debuting Dude Love. He's using a new persona. So Vince is the special guest referee for this match. Let's see. And at first, it's just a regular match. It's just a regular match for the title with, a special guest referee match with Mr. Macman as the referee. It's a quick back and forth. Right away, Austin flips off Mr. McMahon and the crowd goes wild. I think it's King. He's like, that should be visual assault or something like that.
Oh yeah. He's like, because so the stipulation was if Austin lays a hand on if Austin lays a hand on McMahon, he loses the title.
Yeah.
So he can't quote unquote assault Vince McMahon. So that's why he's doing. Well, it's assault. It's visual assault.
Yeah. Yeah, so Austin is beating.
And sorry, just
go ahead.
There were the Stooges with Pat Patterson introducing Jared Briscoe, who had fucking the Briscoe brothers spray painted on the car, which I fucking loved for their body shop.
Briscoe needed to be out there, bro. He was the special ring dude or the bell. Yeah, special bell dude. I don't know what Patterson was.
He was just the comment. He was cripes, ring announcer.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there was the timekeeper / bell ringer was Briscoe, and then McMahon was the referee. So the cards are stacked against Austin, but you left out the one big key thing right before the match starts. When McMahon goes like this to ring the bell tolls.
Oh yeah, Taker comes out to pretty much enforce the rules. He just doesn't want it to get out of control.
Yeah, he wants to make sure that things are kosher. Yeah.
Like he'll allow some things, but he's not going to allow for just madness, as we'll see.
But yeah, like Austin and this is cool because you get to see Austin going up against a big guy who can take some punishment, but can also do some pretty legit moves in the ring. So now he's going up against a different cat that you're not used to seeing Austin against.
Yeah, so Austin's taking over in the ring. In the beginning, after flipping McMahon off, breaks Dude Love's teeth. I think the 2 front ones.
Yeah, because in the entrance they pointed that out that he had his fake teeth in with his corporate coat on. So Austin stops and chokes him into the crowd.
Yeah, McMahon's messing with Austin the whole time. He's not really counting fast enough. He's telling him to let go of shit. He's just being an asshole. He's playing the heel referee.
Oh, and how good was it too with there's a couple things like with the first pinfall. It's like, and Austin kicks out. He's like, "You what do 3. And then the next time Vince is like he listens. He's like, oh shit, this guy means bit. And then another time when Mick Foley's pin, like, not even a pin, he takes Austin out with the headlock and he's holding one there, and Austin has his arm up, and Vince counts 1, and Jim Ross is like, oh, I counted a 1 count, and this is a Bubbles voice for some reason. He counts a 1 count, but Austin had his shoulder up, and Jerry the Killer is like, well, it's only 1 shoulder. It's a 1 count. 1 count, 1 shoulder. He's like trying to justify it. Like,
yeah. Let's see. Where was I? Yeah. So McMahon's messing with Austin, doing all that stupid shit, counting before his shoulders are down. Being a prick to Austin. He definitely wants Dude Love to win. Once they get outside, that's when Dude starts getting the advantage. He gets thrown outside by Austin, actually, and he does the typical Mankind.
the guillotine and
Yeah.
the rope,
Yeah,
which cost him part of his ear, like they mentioned in the show against Vader a couple years prior.
Yeah. And once it's outside, after they've been battling a little bit, he has Pat Patterson announced that it's a no disqualification match, and they keep saying it's a no disqualification match.
Reminder.
Mm-hmm.
This is a no disqualification.
Yeah. Sorry, he didn't make it one. It was a reminder. Yeah.
And then Jim Ross, well, by God, when was that announced?
Mm-hmm. and as soon as that gets announced, Austin turns up the intensity, clotheslines Dude Love over the guardrail or over the barricade.
Yeah.
And he takes a nasty spill. He slams his head on the concrete.
Oh, when I was watching this, I was like, oh God, like I hope they showed the other angle, because how did he really? Because the way that his legs flip, you don't really know how his head lands. Mm-hmm. But when they do show that reverse angle, you're like, oh fuck.
Well, he lands so bad that they go back into the ring, and I forget what Austin does, but he definitely goes off to one side and lets the ref check on Dude Love, and you can hear it because he's pretty loud because the ref's checking on him. I think he says, "I hit my head, but I'm fine" or something. You can't really hear him; it's muffled, but he definitely goes on to check on Dude Love because it's nasty. But yeah, Austin definitely is going with the flow of the match. It's an ODQ match. All right, boom, turns it up, starts going at it outside, then gives Dude Love the advantage by missing a knee. Once they make it back onto the inside, playing up, Austin's gonna be having a fucking bum knee because of that. Once they make it on the outside again, they make it a no or false count, or they remind everyone it's a no. It's a false count anywhere.
Reminder.
Yeah. And they do that because Mick Foley's winning. So
yeah, and of course, Vince like runs to tell him and then runs back and counts the 1, 2. Oh, he kicks out.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
That's when it gets fun, because that's when they start getting into the entrance. That's when they're using the cars.
Yeah.
And,
why were the cars there? Was that just part of the display?
I don't. Armageddon 1999, the cars made sense. Mm-hmm. Over the Edge 1998 made no sense.
Yeah, I don't know why there were cars there. Well, besides that, these two guys were going to use them as.
It wasn't like there was no reason. There was no hit and run. There was no nothing. There was no reason to have cars there.
Over the edge, fighting Rikishi.
I'm guessing like over the edge. The cars drove over the edge and they landed in the Milwaukee arena. Is it Milwaukee that they were in? I think. Fun fact: this is actually the exact same arena that Austin won King of the Ring in 2 years prior, and Mick Foley as Mankind, the Undertaker, 2 years prior.
Nice.
But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The cars were there for whatever reason, and they were utilized properly. Like
they're both slamming each other on them. Austin gets thrown off.
Some color. Get some. Does he get the color here?
It's soon here. I think it is. I don't know if he bladed. I didn't see him blade.
I'm drawing a blank on. I mentioned fuck, I mentioned Armageddon a moment ago, and now I'm thinking about Triple H blading at that pay-per-view, and now I'm drawing a blank. But Austin does he even blade here? Or am I drawing a different
No,
match?
he has a little bit of blood, and then when they make it into the ring, they try to play it off as the turnbuckle being exposed and Austin
Okay,
headbutting
so
it, but he was already
yeah,
exposed a little bit, so he might have bladed
it might have been.
prematurely.
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, okay, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't, or maybe he did get opened up by accident, and then they're like, well, let's go
yeah,
open it up all the way.
yeah. I'm starting to think it might have been like an accidental one because I don't. I'm remembering the finish of the match, and I don't remember seeing the blood being like very prevalent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so after this, it kind of leads to the finish of the match. They put on a badass match, and so it was able to be told as a good story because it started off regular, then it gets turned into a no disqualification match. Austin adapts to it, then it gets turned into a false count anywhere. Austin adapts to it, and I don't remember if he beats up. Oh no, okay, so that's after this. After this, McMahon hands Dude Love a chair.
oh, okay. Everything just flew back to me. Sorry, go
Yeah.
on.
And then Dude Love double arm DDTs Austin onto it, and you're like, holy shit, it's over.
Yeah.
That's his finisher onto a chair. Austin kicks out, grabs once Dude Love picks him up, throws him into the corner. He's going to try to come at him with a chair. Austin kicks the chair into Dude Love's face. Then he grabs the chair and blasts the fuck out of fucking Mick Foley, dude, with the chair.
Oh, dude. This is the era when I don't know if you're aware, but there was like a 3.5 year period where there was no such thing as brain damage. And Mick Foley was the king of this era because he could just take this damage and show no signs and no symptoms of anything. And this is one of the 3 prime examples of Mick Foley getting his ass whipped in the head with a chair.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck, God, you cringe watching it. Like you can't not.
Yeah. Let's see. So after he dude, it's nasty. Kane hits him as well. Rock goes on to bash him 11 times.
Yeah, I was thinking Kane I was thinking The Rock this match and King of the Ring.
Yeah.
But I forgot about that Kane has some rough ones on him too.
Yeah. McMahon won't count for Austin after Austin blasts Dude Love. And then a second ref comes out because I don't know if Dude
okay.
Love hit Vince
McMahon
after
with the chair. Yeah.
because he refused to count at one point, and then I forgot what happened. But he got hit with a chair. A second ref comes out, and Patterson stops the ref, which causes the Undertaker.
I feel like. Yeah, no. I feel there's nothing. I feel there's something before. Was there nothing before that? No, I guess it was just Vince. Oh, yeah. Okay, the other ref comes
Vince is
in.
out.
Yeah.
The other ref comes in.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of Patterson pinning.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I jumped ahead in my head. Sorry.
Yeah. So Patterson gets he pulls the ref out. The ref that came to count. Patterson gets chokeslammed through the table. I think Briscoe tries to count as well, and then
Briscoe tries and he goes through the next one.
He gets through the next one, and then Austin makes Vince's face down, and Austin makes Vince count 1, 2, 3.
And they did say on the commentary, they quote that Vince McMahon said on Raw the match would end by his hand counting to 3.
Mm.
So technically, it legit.
Awesome match, dude. This was an awesome match.
Great match.
Yeah. Great ending. The Monkeys even get involved. Pat Patterson and Briscoe, they do their thing. Even Briscoe gets his moment where he comes back after getting beat up by Austin on the outside, and he shows his little hammer for the bell. All in all, great match between the two of them. Flip
They've had some amazing matches. You go back to Mick Foley, or to Mankind and Austin earlier. Dude Love here, and then going forward, they had some like Austin, and this match was so good because it gave you the in-ring Austin style. It gave you the hardcore McFoley's angle. It gave you a little bit of everything that you needed.
Yeah.
And great finish.
It was a long match, bro. Well, no, you're right. It did give you a little bit of.
It just gave
regular,
you
no DQ, falls count.
Yeah, give you a little bit of this, give you a little bit of that, give you a little bit of this, and then the perfect finish, like I said, with them saying McMahon said it would end by his hand counting to 3, and it was McMahon's hand 1, 2, 3, and then Austin even I think he might have done that, or maybe he's done 1, 2, 3 and just lifted his hand, but I think he did the bell signal, but I could be wrong on that. But regardless, phenomenal moment there for those two guys.
Mm-hmm. Next match after that would be your match, right? Yeah, Austin versus Taker. This is a Raw.
Yeah, okay, so this is June. Over the edge is June, so we got a year in between. So in this time frame now, Austin's going to take on The Undertaker and Kane. He's going to have a couple matches. He's going to have a phenomenal Undertaker and a phenomenal match with Undertaker at SummerSlam 98. SummerSlam 98, go watch that whole show. It's one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. That match could have been so much better. Austin was legitimately knocked out cold, much like Goldberg versus Undertaker. Austin bounced right back in, and Austin has said he remembers nothing about this match after a certain point, just going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of fun there. The following pay-per-view is a triple threat match: Austin, Undertaker, Kane. Kane cannot pin Undertaker, and Undertaker can't pin Kane. Well, double choke slam, double pin, where they both hook a leg and their backs are facing each other. 1, 2, 3. McMahon takes the title, runs off. Who's gonna be the champion? Kane versus Undertaker. Stone Cold's the referee. He has to call it down the middle or he's fired. In the match, oh Christ, I'm gonna draw a blank if it's 2 stunners or 2 chair shots or a chair shot and a stunner, doesn't matter. Austin goes 1, 2, 3, and your winner, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now he's fired. That takes us into Survivor Series Deadly Games. Austin makes his way back, but no champion. So Deadly Games, it's a tournament to determine who's going to be the WWF champion. Eventually, Austin gets screwed. Listen to the Something Wrestlers podcast to get an amazing story on this pay-per-view as to why Gerald Briscoe had to give the worst chair shot in history to Stone Cold to eliminate Stone Cold, which eventually The Rock wins the title with the quote-unquote screw job with the sharpshooter over the corporate Mankind in the finals. Leads us into Rock Bottom, where Stone Cold takes on The Undertaker in a Buried Alive match. Undertaker loses the match. Austin wins. Leads us into the Royal Rumble, where Austin is number 1 because McMahon says so. But Commissioner Shawn Michaels says, Vince, you're number 2. Vince runs out of the match. Austin follows him, and they spend the whole match fighting around the arena. The corporation gets involved, beating up Austin. Austin beats them back. Eventually, they make their way back to the ring after The Rock wins the I Quit match versus Mankind, after we talked about those 12, 13, 14, 15, 10,000 vicious chair shots. He comes down to distract Austin. McMahon eliminates Austin, becoming the more contender. He says, I will not fight The Rock at WrestleMania. So then Shawn Michaels says it's going to be Austin. Fine, but Austin has to beat you in a match at February's pay-per-view in your house, St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Cage match. Great match. I wanted to pick this one, but I couldn't find the video, and I'm really upset because McMahon takes some fucking bumps off the cage through a table. He blades.
How many
McMahon,
bumps?
oh, oh,
How many bumps?
oh, 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 McMahon was on fire that night, my friend.
Yeah, well, after that many bumps, who wouldn't be on fire?
Paul White breaks through the ring, throws Stone Cold through the cage. And why did Paul White have that much power? Well, he's the Big Show. No, he throws him through the cage. Austin drops down. Austin Rock at WrestleMania.
What a weird way, right, to come out.
Yeah, it's bizarre, but it worked for the story.
Not for the Big Show, but yeah, worked for the story.
Austin wins the title. He ends up losing the title to corporate ministry Undertaker. Ends up becoming the champion at King of the Ring. Austin, who is now a CEO and co-owner of WWF, takes on Shane and Vince in a 2-on-1 handicap ladder match for a briefcase that holds 100% stake in the WWF. In that match, the briefcase magically lifts when Austin goes to reach it, and magically lowers right into old Shane's hand. Also that night, Undertaker beats The Rock. Next night on Raw, Vince comes out stating that Austin will never get another title shot. Austin says, my last duty before I stepped into that ring was to sign a contract making me the number one contender here tonight on Raw. So, June 28, 1999, and Austin Undertaker WWF Championship. If Austin loses, he gets no more title shots in his career. And I picked this match because that SummerSlam match was so good and could have been better. And I also picked it because, and I'm kicking myself because we had three title changes on Raw with the women's tag team and then the double change on the 24/7 title on Raw. But in the Attitude Era, House Show, Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view, it didn't matter. Titles changed hands any given night. And this match, Austin wins the title from Undertaker, and it's about 11, 12 minutes. Great match. Guys get their shots in. It's the Undertaker. It's a weird match because it's Raw, and it's Austin Undertaker, and you know that Austin's the face. So Austin is the challenger coming out second. Undertaker is champion coming out first. No pyro, no special robe, no getup, just his ring attire with the title around his waist. A very weird entrance for this match. With Paul Bearer, corporate ministry Paul Bearer, great match. It's just this is one of those matches that really does define the Attitude Era main event status.
Dude, and you can tell how much respect Austin has for the guys that have been longer in the company than him and been at the top longer than him. To me, again, it's Taker setting the pace, but who's not going to let Taker take over a match and call the spots and, hey, you do this, do this, I do that.
And at this point, Austin is the most over guy in arguably in wrestling history. But he's saying, look, man, you do your thing. You're the champion.
And he takes a beating from The Undertaker for a while. It's The Undertaker using his size and athleticism over Austin's. Well, he doesn't have a size advantage here. Austin doesn't have a size advantage, so they're just going at it, and it's Taker offense with Austin getting minimal offense in and getting he reverses Undertaker and then Undertaker mounts offense again. He reverses Undertaker and then Undertaker back at it again using his vintage Undertaker moves, walking the ropes. Like you said, it wasn't that long of a match. It was 11 minutes, 12 minutes, probably less because of the walkouts.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm probably considering that there. And it was good because you see the finish. in a way, Taker got 3 stunners because he gets stunned. Bear pulls the referee out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Austin takes out Paul Bear, and as Austin's trying to get back in the ring, he hits Undertaker kind of with a stunner on the ropes before getting back in the ring. Only thing I'm going to take away about this match, it was a kind of sloppy finish. It was like a reversal under the rope, and then as Austin's coming back, they both stop and stare at each other for a split second. Austin kicks him, stunner, 1, 2, 3, wins the title. Undertaker turns around and or Austin wins the title, celebrates, turns around, gets blasted, and Undertaker starts unloading.
How much longer after this do we get Vince exposing himself as or did he already expose himself?
At this point, he'd exposed himself as the higher power. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. Okay. Yeah, this was I kind of did. No. Maybe it was just ministry. Now I'm drawing a blank if it was corporate ministry Undertaker or just the ministry. I don't think it was corporation ministry. I might be wrong because I think that was around SmackDown, which is around September. So I might be jumping ahead there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I have his Wikipedia open. Feud with McMahon, 97-99. Corporate grapefruits. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know where the corporate ministry starts, but like you said, it might be a little bit after because the corporation would have helped them out.
Yeah, it would have made sense. I'm trying to because I'm also trying to figure out, and again, I am speeding through a lot of months and a lot of events because I did skip the crucifixion of Stone Cold Undertaker's symbol, which was a big milestone. The key thing about this match, though, was that Austin bled afterwards, which led to the stipulation in their next match that if Austin loses, he gets no title shot again. But if Undertaker loses, Vince McMahon can no longer appear on TV. It's a first blood match for the WWF Championship, which Austin would eventually win. We're in 99. So around this time, we're leading into SummerSlam 99, which is the triple threat match with Mankind and Triple H. Jesse Ventura is going to be your guest referee. Mankind wins the title. Funny moment, Austin kind of gets caught up in the ropes. With the second rope flips over and he couldn't get out, and Triple H, the bad guy, Austin, the good guy. Triple H had to help him out. So it's kind of, instead of like laying the boots on him, he had to go and get him out of the ring. Triple H wins the title for Mankind the following night on Raw, or on a couple of weeks later.
Little side note: during a house show, didn't Triple H have to break character to beat up a guy that went into the ring while him and Austin were having a match?
Yeah, Austin had won the match, and actually he pinned Triple H 1, 2, 3, and then the fan jumped in, and Triple H unloaded, and then Earl Hebner gets a couple kicks in. It's not hard to find. Just Google search Triple H Austin fan house show, and you will see this video, and it is wild, and it's worth every minute of it. So this will lead us into Survivor Series 99, which is where Austin gets hit by a car. Who would hit Austin with a car? Why would anyone hit Austin with a car? Who knows?
At this time, it was one of the craziest angles. One of the dude, I was a kid. I was like, who the fuck would? What? They killed Austin? Like, what the fuck?
I was in grade 9, and I remember someone telling me like, dude, you hear Austin was hit by a car last night? I'm like, yeah, I heard. Pay-per-view goes, dude, that shit was real. I'm like, what? Like,
it seemed real at that time.
I was so I'm like, there's no way they would film that. Like, no, it was an accident. They were filming live, and he was hit by a car. I'm like, oh goddamn, like what's going to happen? It's all kayfabe. It's like you find all that stuff out as you get older and shit. But so
Austin needed time for a knee injury, right?
Knee, neck, back. At this point, he was well beaten up. I mean, he had so much damage at this point in his career. So yes, this is gonna go into 99. Was it? Yeah, so because he misses WrestleMania 2000, because that was the Fatal Four Way with Taker. No, with the Rock, Big Show, Mankind, and the Rock and Triple H. So Austin goes well out. Like he doesn't even come back for the biggest show of the year. He does come back end of 2000. Kurt Angle's champion now. He comes back with let me check actually. I'm gonna draw a blank for a second here. I apologize. Okay, yeah, so it's April 2000. So it's shortly thereafter Austin comes back from WrestleMania and he becomes the champion. Triple H is the Intercontinental Champion, and they're going to meet the Brothers of Destruction, who are the Tag Team Champions. And I remember watching this match live. It's a fucking dope match. If I could have picked 15 matches for Austin, I could have. All 4 titles in line in the main event. Austin Triple H end up winning, and because did I skip?
The Rock defeated Kurt Angle for the WWF Championship in No Way Out. Why was Austin set to face him?
Okay, you know what?
Austin won
I
his
did.
third Royal Rumble.
I skipped a year. Austin wins the Royal Rumble with Kane with the chair shots and goes to take on Kane. I apologize. I skipped over a full year.
Yes, in 2001 Royal Rumble, Austin wins his third and most ever Royal Rumbles by a single WWE superstar, last eliminating Kane. His rivalry against Triple H ended at No Way Out in a 3 stages of hell match.
Yes, that's right. I apologize. I missed a full year.
I was gonna pick that one, but I didn't.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was the regular match, no holds barred match and steel cage match, which Triple H ends up winning, which is weird that these guys didn't get more of a push against each other. It just never seemed to line up.
Mm-hmm.
So this leads us into WrestleMania 15, which is WrestleMania 17, which is your go.
Yeah. I picked this one because, I don't know. Yeah, I mentioned on here they were talking about The Rock's career, and they had mentioned this being one of the best matches that him and Austin put together. They've always had badass matches. Them being the 2 top superstars, kind of doing the same rise at the same time. Austin maybe a little bit before The Rock, but these guys are both at the top of their games. The Rock
only guys to three-peat WrestleMania. Not three-peat. Headline WrestleMania 3 times, I should say, because they went 15, 17, 19.
Yeah, they skipped some in between.
But still, 3 out of 5 years, it was Austin and Rock fighting at WrestleMania, which is pretty amazing.
The thing is, you have who's the biggest star ever? Hogan, Austin. It's debatable. And then you have the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. If he stayed around more, he could be thrown in there, and that's definitely an honorable mention for one of the greatest of all time. At the top of his game, him and Austin to be around at the same time was a thing of beauty. Something that you're not going to get to see. The Rock has something that you can't put your finger on. Austin has it too. People are drawn to them. They were both undeniable. People weren't really into them at first. They had to have a crazy awesome heel turn, both cutting badass promos to do it. And then that's when they started gaining their popularity. And then that's where they fucking skyrocketed into stardom. And it leads them to, this is their second one, right?
Yeah, their first one was when Austin beat Corporate Rock after all that stuff with Paul White and Austin maintaining his thing before the Undertaker match that we just talked about a few moments ago.
I probably should have picked that one, but I picked this one.
This one's actually
because it gives us a little bit more to talk about. That's why I picked it.
it's weird. This one because like not this one. It's weird their matchups because Austin hates the original matchup because he was going through a divorce, and that's why he wears a T-shirt, not the vest, because he was so lost he couldn't even remember to pack a vest. And he says he doesn't remember a lot of these matches because he was going through so much shit. The third one, The Rock finally goes over on Austin, which is like, oh shit, Austin's not better than The Rock. He can actually lose. And then this one, I mean, fuck spoiler alert, it's 25,000 years old. Austin and McMahon, they're together.
Yeah. So it's so weird to see, but I guess Austin being the anti guy, even he he turned heel. He literally he's a heel guy. Like the other day when you were like, we chose best heels. Yeah, and you were like, I forgot Austin, and I'm like, man, he's always been a tweener, but this is one of the instances where he's like, fuck it, I'm going heel. I'm going, even if.
And it's funny because he doesn't change, but the fans boo him.
Yeah.
All he has to do is have McMahon in his corner, and he gets booed. He changed nothing. His character stayed the exact same. The only difference was McMahon was behind him. Mm-hmm. It's so wild.
What's crazy is after that, the fans are like, you know what, fuck this. We still love Austin. We don't care if you're with Mr. McMahon. It was that initial moment that was like, what the fuck?
Well, do you remember what they had to do to make him turn against McMahon? He joined the alliance. He joined Stephanie and Shane's alliance later that year, and that was how he broke away from his Vince McMahon era.
Yeah, he brought over the WCW people, right? And then he joined the WCW people as a leader.
They couldn't figure out a way. Like they're like, oh fuck, this isn't working with Austin and Vince. What do we do? Make him a heel. He is a heel. Well, make him a heel with them.
It's like make him another heel. It's like, all right. So he's a heel on a heel on a heel. What does that mean? Fucking 3 negatives?
It's a full heel. Yeah. He's a full heel podcast.
Yeah.
He's the original full heel podcaster.
Yep. Austin. They were just trying to, dude, I don't know why they were fucking tinkering with it. He was over. And they were like, let's turn him heel.
You were saying that you just listened to the Austin Rock podcast, and I need to listen to that because I still don't get this. I've watched it. I watched it today.
It was just Rock.
Oh, it was just the Rock one.
Yeah, it was just the Rock.
Oh, okay. No, because I've seen this match so many years, so many times, and it's a good match, but that ending, I'm just like, I don't get it. It makes no sense. Now, the 2-man power trip that we get out of it makes sense, but
yeah.
So, because the match itself is fire.
So I guess we could just, if these two guys go 110% from the beginning, nonstop, no disqualification match. We have Austin using the ring bell. We have them on the outside fighting a bunch. We have them using chairs. It's an intense match. It's both of them using their entire skill sets. On the outside, on the inside, and then getting to the finish. Pretty much, you guys need to go watch this match.
It's a great match. It's just unfortunate that finish, like those last. They recreate the blood spot from. Yes, I wanted to touch on that from 13.
Yeah, they recreate the blood spot with
Rock
him
pushing up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Austin is in the sharpshooter.
No, Rock's in it this time.
Well, they both do it to each other.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were talking more with the Rock one.
Oh, okay. Well, they both do it. They both recreate the spot where. Well, I was recreating the spot where he's. Where
he's got and he pushes the. Yeah.
The Rock does it too. They both go tit for tat. They both use their moves on each other. Like I said, they display their complete skill set. They're using their finishers on each other. They can't finish each other. Austin's bleeding everywhere. I think The Rock got cut up a little bit before, but Austin winds up bloodier.
Yeah. As per.
Let's see. How does this finish? So.
Well, Austin just looks like the man comes down and everyone figures he's there for The Rock.
Yeah, because they can't finish each other, right? They're just going.
Give me the chair. And Jim Ross is like, "Hey, just ask for the chair." And Vince gives it to him. Vince puts it in and he goes, "I'ma hold him. You hit him." And he hits him like, "What the fuck?" And then of course, 1-2 kick out, stunner, 1-2 kick out, beats him with a chair, 1-2 kick out, and then he gives him one last chair shot, 1-2-3, and then they cheers together and they talk about Austin shaking hands with the devil. It's one of those WrestleMania moments that didn't become a WrestleMania moment. It just fell flat.
Yeah. Really big shoe. Sorry, I was trying to get my.
Yeah, you'll not Johnny Carson.
I think it is, but with a pencil.
Yeah.
No,
The pencil was David Letterman.
Okay.
Real big shoe was I think
it's a combination
Carson.
of both. I was throwing the paper on the camera and taking the line.
It's a Chidas.
Yep. There you go. It's an original. It's kind of.
Yeah. No, I love this match. This is a phenomenal. Like you said, they go tit for tat. They go balls to the wall, pedal to the metal from the get go. Like they start off, they don't even get the stare down.
Yeah, all their matches are 4 and above. I think this might have been lower rated than their first match, especially because of the finish. Him and McMahon shaking hands at the end really pissed people off.
Yeah.
They could have done something better.
And it's weird because because I think they bought WCW a week or 2 weeks before this. I think the WCW purchase was March 2001, and this pay-per-view was April 1st, 2001. So it was like last week or second last week of March. So that's why there was everyone thought that there was gonna be like Scott Steiner, NWO, Sting, Goldberg. They thought a lot of no one knew what was going to happen contract wise with this pay-per-view, and they ended up saying, you know what, it's too soon. We can't bring guys in, but we can start something with Austin, and we can turn him to aligning him. I think that was ultimately the thing. He wanted to pledge loyalty to Vince McMahon, but it just didn't. It didn't fit the characters. Mm-hmm. He could have just pledged loyalty to WWE and still hated Vince McMahon's ass. You know what I mean? He could have just been that badass who he could have been Sting.
He was one of the fucking what is it? The blondes?
The Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah, the Hollywood Blondes, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
He was WCW. He carried the company.
He fucking right. I've been telling you that for years. No,
that didn't make any sense.
There's some things you can imagine what they wanted to do, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm. So after this, he's kind of on and off, isn't he, from the company?
No. So this is where I got ahead. This is where the 2-man power trip with Triple H starts. This is where they end up holding all the titles in the company, and then he loses them and ends up joining the Alliance, leads them into Survivor Series, where he is last pinned by Kurt Angle or The Rock. I'm going to draw a blank on this one, but he's the last one to be eliminated. And Vince McMahon maintains control of WWF going forward. It's not going to be WCW and ECW run show, and that takes you into 2002, where Triple H comes back from injury to win the Royal Rumble, and there was a lot of talk. Oh, sorry, Undisputed Championship match happens where Austin gets screwed over by Booker T. To lose to Chris Jericho in the finals, where Jericho becomes the first undisputed champion, which gives us one of the greatest spots in Raw: Austin v Booker T in a supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
Go and watch that. That is just fucking comedy and wrestling greatness at its peak. So No Way Out, NWO 2002. Austin. A lot of people thought Austin was going to get over and maybe take on Triple H at WrestleMania.
I don't know what I did to you, so you could pick this match and rub it in my face.
Oh no! I picked this match because Austin and Scott Hall. God damn, they could have had such a good match if Scott Hall was clean.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Even going back a couple of years, like 96, 97, like right before Austin got hurt or just after, Razor Ramon or Scott Hall, whichever, take NWO out of it. These two guys could have had some fun matches. And this match, like, it was so good. The fact, and I've heard a lot of different people say why Austin and Hulk Hogan didn't fight at this pay-per-view, even though there was a lot of talk about trying to make it happen. Austin's always said he was at a bad spot.
So here's what I've always heard. I've always heard when Hogan comes back, Hogan's like, "Hey, brother, I'm a top guy. You're a top guy. Let's put on a badass match. You put me over, then I put you over, and then ultimately I'll put you over 2 out of 3 times." And then what winds up happening is they have the first match, they put Hogan over, and then Hogan's like, "I'm old as fuck. I'm out of here." And then he never has the match. Like, I think he did that to, I forgot who, but Austin did not want that to happen. And we were supposed to get that, but we get The Rock Hogan at WrestleMania, and he actually does the job to The Rock.
I think that was more of the fact that Austin was Plan A, and when Plan A fell out, Hogan kind of realized, like, fuck, if I'm gonna get a payday, it's got to be like I got to listen, otherwise I'm not gonna be on the card.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it ultimately came down to. I don't know. That's always been my thought, but
I wouldn't be surprised. Hogan's always up to the same antics. He's always been doing the same thing.
It's always like this is my last option kind of thing. Like, I got to do what they say, or else I'm not getting a check.
Yeah. So he puts, whenever we cover The Rock or Hogan's career, that's going to be one of the matches that
for sure
covered, just because how it went over. But instead we get Hall versus Austin, which I also heard we were supposed to get Nash versus Austin, but I heard that was vetoed because Austin's like, "Fuck that, I'm not putting Nash over for what? It doesn't make any sense."
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah. I heard that too. I heard that somewhere. The controversy with this match too, like Scott Hall taking a beer, like no, not a beer bath, but getting beer dumped on him when they're trying to make him clean. And this time, we talked about it last week, Scott Hall's taking pills that make you throw up when you drink and shit like that, and they're pouring beer on him. It was a bit of
Bruce Pritchard defends it. He says there was nothing wrong with it.
I get if Scott Hall's fine with it and Austin's fine with it. I get it. I think knowing what you know, like if you know an alcoholic and you just pour beer on them and say, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna get paid for it." It just looks like it looks in bad taste.
Yes, 100%.
I agree with the angle. The angle, 100%. It just does look bad knowing what we know now. Back then, Scott Hall was an alcoholic in WCW. It was an angle. We all had fun. This match was a good match to me. Like I said, this is my other what if match. What if we had it earlier? What if Scott Hall was clean? And my one wish is that the NWO died in like 1999. It didn't have feet in 2000. Didn't have feet after the finger poke of doom. It couldn't keep on. Vince McMahon brings it back, and it's like, it's not
gonna inject the cancer.
It doesn't work, and it killed so much. I did not like that angle one bit. But I like the matchups that we got. I like a lot of the things. I like Triple H and Kevin Nash down the road. Like, even despite Nash's injuries, Nash still could kind of entertain, just not at championship level. But he did have some fun matches in championship title matches. Sorry. But but we got to see a good match. And if Kevin Nash didn't interfere or we didn't have the NWO aspect, this match would have been, I think, a 4-star match for me, maybe 3 3/4.
Yeah.
A lot of good heel stuff, and I love Scott Hall's heel antics. I just didn't need Kevin Nash's extra. It didn't add anything to the match.
Yeah, no, Kevin Nash gets involved, tears off the turnbuckle at one point.
Yeah.
For,
Yep. And Austin takes that one.
Yeah, so let's see. Sorry, guys. I forgot what happened in this match.
I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't a great match. It was lackluster. It was a lot of just heel tactics. Austin got his offense in, and then a lot of NWO heel antics. The dirty moves, the cheap shots from on the outside. When it went outside, Nash would get the licks in when the ref wasn't looking. They told a good story, and I think that's why I appreciate it. I just really wish that it didn't have to be as dirty as it was, even to the end when Nash is taking stunners and Hall's taking stunners.
Well, so Nash pulls out the ref after Stone Cold hits a stunner. He pulls out the ref, and then he goes on to hold Austin so Hall can get the chair shot in. Austin nut shots Hall and then focuses in on Nash and then stuns Nash and then stuns Hall. And let's see, do they bring out a second ref?
Yeah, and as he's counting, Kevin Nash gets up from his stunner and does the elbow drop on the ref's back to break up the count.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, and so Nash gets kicked out because he fucked with the ref. Hall hits a stunner, but only gets a 2 count on Austin. And then Austin hits his stunner, gets the 1, 2, 3 on Hall, giving people... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Now, here's my thing. I love The Rock. Mm-hmm. Sells too hard.
Yeah.
His selling of the stunner, and they always joke about, oh man, we used to bet a case of beer if he could sell it this way or that way, and I'd have to buy it. Here's the thing with the stunner. When you're a big guy taking that kind of move, it can be awkward. Kane and The Undertaker could drop to one knee and sell. Kevin Nash couldn't sell that stunner. Big Show would just and fall back. Scott Hall, we talked about last week, is not Big Show height, but he's in that category of Big Show, Kevin Nash, Undertaker, Kane. He is technically in that big guy category. And you watch that stunner. I don't care what anyone says. It's the best sell of a stunner from a big guy perspective of kick. He's fighting with every last ounce. There's the stunner. Oh, he's fighting it. He's fighting it. And Austin, I looked at it as an exclamation point. The first one was the line, and the second one he dots it, and Hall goes flying. And that was it. You have to watch this match. You can't just watch that finish and be like, oh, he oversold. You have to watch it as he's a big guy selling it, and Austin's putting every ounce of driving. And you think, but when you slam a ball to the ground, it doesn't just roll; it bounces back up. Austin drilled that big son bitch down, and he flew. And 1, 2, 3. Scott Hall sold like a mother. Like we said last week, Scott Hall will sell for anyone, and he'll put anyone over.
Yeah.
And that's why this match worked. And that's why I wish it wasn't NWO. I wish it was the Scott Hall Stone Cold. I wish it was Razor Ramon and Stone Cold. I wish we could have had it in a different era or in a different era.
I was in 5th grade when this happened, and me and my friend got in a fight because I knew Hall was gonna lose, but I was mad because he was gonna lose. My friend was rubbing it in. And I was like, fuck you, dude. Because he's like, the NWO sucks, dude. Because he was definitely a WWE guy. And I love the NWO. But not that I didn't watch WWF. But he was definitely WWF and Austin. And I was NWO. And I did not want to see Hall versus Austin because I knew what was going to happen. and then he was
Right.
rubbing it in, and then he rubbed it in when it fucking happened.
I
And
I like this. This is a fun match though. Like this is not a bad match. It's just unfortunate that we didn't get it when we should have, or in the context that we should have.
yeah,
Because this is a storyline that could have went back and forth, but it just didn't have legs because this would have been no. So this is still a year before everything goes down with Austin. Oh no, I'm lying. This is right around the time when Austin walks out. So this is shortly before the whole Brock Lesnar Austin walks out. He comes back, says I'm sorry, and then does his farewell tour. But yeah, Austin was in a weird place. Scott Hall was in a weird place. But you watch this match; these guys worked well together. They sold well together, and Scott Hall knew how to sell Austin stuff. Scott Hall took that the Outsider's Edge reversal over the top rope near the end. Like he was still taking those bumps. Like.
So how much after this does he have left? Because it gets kind of iffy with him, or not iffy, but
1
choppy.
year.
1 year.
1 year. Yeah. So he walks out. He was supposed to put Brock Lesnar over on Raw. Takes his ball and goes home. There's tons of podcasts and books and stories you can listen to about that. Grand scheme of things, he comes back and ends up Austin Rock WrestleMania 19. He puts Rock over, and the Rock 1, 2, 3. Rock rolls out of the ring, and Austin gets his moment in the ring, and looks at the crowd, gets a couple brews, and says goodbye to his in-ring career.
And that's it, right?
Yep. Gets inducted to the Hall of... Well, he inducts Bret Hart in 2006. He gets inducted in 2010 and does a lot of appearances as commissioner and stuff like that. Has a lot of fun one-offs, does anniversary shows and milestone Raw shows. But that's it in ring-wise. Like, he's just... now he's more a name than a character, I guess, is the right way to say it.
Yeah. One of the greats, dude. You can't leave him out of the Mount Rushmore because of everything he's done. Anything else, Ryan, on Stone Cold's career? Anything else?
Go back and watch it. I really messed up the timeline there near the end. I got ahead of myself.
No worries, dude.
I also missed a lot of like little bits and pieces. I'm kicking myself now.
Let's see Dave Meltzer do that.
Yeah, with no note.
Yeah.
I could put my computer on. I got a phone, I got a beer, and I got an empty cup. That's all I got in front of me.
Fucking Dave Meltzer, that little bitch.
No, I apologize.
I'm coming for you, Dave Meltzer.
I apologize to anybody if you're upset that I missed stuff. I'm not a professional. No, honestly, this is my childhood. I'll never forget. The only live show I was at, main event was Austin. Austin Kane and Undertaker. It was around that 1998 summer when Austin would eventually be fired because he counted both guys and declared himself the champion. It was around that time frame that I got to see it, and I remember looking. And I went to the show. I got the Stone Cold University Class of 316 shirt. Got my middle finger foam hand. I remember looking at my dad and saying, "Can I?" Austin stuns Patterson, wins the match. I look at my dad and say, "Can I?" The Austin flipping the finger. I look around. Can I flip the finger? My dad's like, "Yeah, flip the finger." I'm flipping off, and I'm like, "This is the greatest one." And I like that, like Austin.
Tell Kara that story, but like my dad let me do it one time, so that's why.
That's why my son's doing it now while I sleep on the couch tonight.
I have one Austin figure, the one with the 3 belts.
I got the 3 belts. I got the Dallas 316, and I'm on the hunt for the Austin Bret Hart WrestleMania 13 2-pack. I saw it once. I passed it up, and I have never seen it again, but I'm on the hunt. And I got the re-release of the action from I was a kid, when you could like squeeze them and they'd fly, or they do a clothesline. It was like little hard plastic. I got the Austin one. He has like he stands like this, and you pull him. He does like a little clothesline thing. It's my kids love that toy too, so that's fun. No, but Austin was my childhood. Personal note, I just want to say a lot of shit in the world, and I don't want to get this podcast derailed, but I just want to say a lot of shit in this world going on. Black, white, yellow, Catholic, Protestant. Shit does not matter, people. Love your neighbor, love your friends, love everyone. There's no need to wake up in the morning or go to bed at night seeing the news that we're seeing, not just in America, but it's everywhere if you search it hard enough. Find it inside you guys. Come on, like, it's 2019. We should all know better than this. No one's better than anybody else. If you think you're better than someone, take a deep look at yourself and realize where you can learn to grow from that. Because thinking that you're better than someone for how you look is one of the biggest problems we have today in this world. There's no need to think that way. Love everyone that you can. You only get one option in this life. Don't fuck it up.
Well said, Ryan.
And that's the bottom line, because I said so.
What? Busting out beers over there?
Ah.
All right. Please subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast, to the YouTube, on iTunes, on all platforms. You could find me. Look up the rewrites as well. They're gonna be at Pilsen Fest. I think it's Pilsen Fest. I shared the link. They'll be at some fest, the 17th. It's gonna be a day thing. They'll probably be over for the podcast later. Like I said, it's gonna be a day thing. I'll see you guys next time on the Fool I Feel podcast.
Now give me a hell yeah.
What?